Hello, today I want to show a little accessory for the visor. This little accessory is our polarization filter and I want to show where it is used. We use the polarization filter especially if we have such shiny surfaces like this metal plate here. Let's see what happens if we place this plate below the visor. And you see now, because the plate is so shiny, we have a lot of reflections and the image is inhomogeneous. Yeah, we see the code can be read, but not really stable in all conditions. So if we now take our polarization filter and put it into this plastic clip, we can just clip it on the front of the visor. Do a quick auto shutter and now we see the difference. The image is quite homogeneous, we have good contrasts and we can create a detector data code and we see the code can be read stable in any position of the image. Another interesting application for this polarization filter is if we have some kind of coated metal. On the back side here I put just a tape on this metal part, so let's see what happens if I put this now below my visor. We see now the metal part around is in the color as before and the stripe, the tape is quite shiny. If we remove the polarization filter again and do an auto shutter, now we cannot see this tape at all anymore. So especially on coated metal with plastics coating, the polarization filter may also be an interesting option. So we have seen already in the example before that I clipped the polarization filter to the front of the visor and I removed it again. So what is if we have applications where we sometimes need a polarization filter and sometimes we don't need a polarization filter? For this kind of application we have another accessory. This is a polarization filter screen covered only half of the LEDs of the visor. So by changing the quadrants of the illumination I can select if I want to have polarized light or not. Again I mount this to the front of the visor. And now we see here in the software I have two jobs. One job is called direct. These two quadrants are sending direct light and the other job is called polarized and the other two quadrants are sending light which is going through the polarization filter. On this part here we have one part but two different labels. One label is printed black on white and the other label is printed on a shiny material. So if we look on this black on white label and we go with direct light, we see quite a lot of reflections inside. The code is only hard to read, but if we go on polarized light here, we see the code can be read good and directly. We have a good image. So, and if we have now the other label, we see on the polarized light it's not very homogeneous. The code can be read anyway, but the label itself is not homogeneous. But if I change to direct light, we see the label is getting homogeneous and the code can be read even more stable. So especially if we have products which may be marked from one day to the other with different types of labels, this switchable polarization filter is very helpful. To summarize our polarization filters, what do we have? For the polarization filter we have two possible front covers for the visor. One is a standard version and the other is a ESD capable version for especially ESD sensitive applications. And for this caps we have the screens, which are the polarization filter screens with 50% coverage of the LEDs or with a 100% coverage of the LEDs, and we have a clear glass which just can be used as a protection of the front of the visor. So thank you for watching. If you want to have more information, please contact us.